Hey guys, it's so nice out. I had to get outside. Got some leaves. It's that season. It's beautiful. So happy to see you guys. Happy Frugal Friday. Talking about 4 realistic ways to cut the cost of living alone. Now, the first video I did with this topic was inspired by the one and only year I ever lived by myself, which I just think of it like starry-eyed. It was just one of those magical years that I had never lived by myself before and just didn't know if I could make that work. And it was literally 2006, one of the best years of my life. And I'm wondering, do you guys remember what you were doing in 2006? Was it good? Let me know. And also, is there a year that you remember in your history that you're just like, that was the best one? Let me know in the comments. It'll be funny if any of them overlap. All right, so when you're trying to cut the cost of living alone now is hard, right? Okay? And before anybody gets bent out of shape, this series is inspired by the year I lived alone. And people are like, that's preposterous. You live with your child. And that's correct. I do now. Now in this age, in this era, I do live with my child. So it's even harder because it's not just me. I've got my child that I'm providing for also. But these 4 tips still apply, and I hope they will help you today. Number 1, if you're trying to live alone, there's some areas where you're gonna have to skimp on, and then there's some areas you're gonna have to pay top dollar for. But I think number 1 will be to make simple meals. Now, the luxury of eating what you want, when you want, no one pressuring you. What are we having for dinner? No one complaining, that's not what I wanted. No one's saying anything's overcooked, something's undercooked. They need more. Nobody needs anything. It's just you, right? So if you're making simple meals, it's really going to reduce your food budget. And I just think back, like I was thrilled to have a grilled cheese. I was thrilled to have eggs and toast. I was thrilled to make a pot of spaghetti instead of spending that money on going out to eat and having my food bill be really big. When it's just you guys, I know groceries are up, I know, but when it's just you and you do not have to worry about anybody else, keep your meals simple, keep your meals what you like to eat, and really relish in the fact that nobody else is telling you what to buy, and you can truly just keep it really simple. I have a video for you called 15 Frugal Simple Meals When Paying Off Debt that will be just inspiration and some ideas. I'm gonna leave that at the end of this video so you can check that out, so don't worry about it right now. But if you're looking for simple, easy meals, I just think, and no matter if you're single or not, this is gonna go so far right now. Check out that list if you're looking for simple, easy ideas. And the next thing is, I was gonna say, just kind of like piggybacking off this tip, is to make the most of your leftovers. If you're a single person, you might not be having a ton of extra food, but you could, right? So I also did a video called 15 Ways to Stretch Your Leftovers to Save Money. And I think watch that also. I've got lots for you to see today because you can repurpose some of those leftovers into more. And that's a whole other video. Watch that. You can repurpose your proteins. You can put it on a pizza. That was a big thing I talked about in that video. You can save a lot of money by using up those leftovers, and they're delicious. Number 2, and here is, I truly think, is the key to successfully living on your own. And that is either to select a place to live that is close to work, or work very close to where you live. The gas money, the travel time, the wear and tear on your car, the tolls. I don't think that it's understood until you get a job close to home how valuable this truly is. And as a single person, so back in the day, right, I rented this apartment, my first apartment ever. And when I'm saying living on my own for the first time, that meant You know, I lived with my family when I was younger. When I was in college, it was like dorm life, into sorority life, into adult life, but living with roommates. This is the first time that nobody else was having any say on my bills. Nobody was paying half. Nobody was contributing. It was just me, right? So I rented this apartment that was super small and it was perfect, okay? It was just a living room with a little area for a like high top dining table. So small, so small. Bedroom with a door that opened up to the bathroom with a door that opened up to the kitchen. And there's the kitchen and then washer and dryer. Oh, I had everything I needed. The most basic, small, little, perfect place that I could call my own. I got that place and I was thinking, where could I work that is near here so that I could just get there quickly, right? And there was a gym right at the opening of where my apartment was. It was like I could throw a baseball and hit the gym. And I went in there kind of like, I'd like to work out, but also, what does this gym membership cost? And they were looking for people to work there. So I was like, this makes sense. This makes sense. So I applied and I started working at the gym so I'd have a free membership. It was perfect. And I could walk to work. It was baseball throw away. So here I am, my apartment. This was in Florida, by the way, this apartment. And it was not a luxury apartment, by the way. It was not like luxury. I told you it was small, but it was perfectly sized for me. Pool. Oh, I'm just remembering it all, right? And then the gym is where I worked, and that's where I made so I didn't even have to drive there. It was right there, walked over, worked my shifts. It was a really great time. And then also I got a job at a dance studio that was within a mile away. So my gym job and my dance studio were within a mile radius. It was genius at the time. Didn't have to go far. I could go from one job to the next when I needed to. Don't underestimate the power of the distance from where you work and where you live. Your time is very valuable. So just don't forget that. And if you can work this out, so say you get a great job, find a place that's closer to that job if that's what you want to do. Or like I said, vice versa. For me, again, in my 20s, this easily worked. This might come back around though. Say you've raised your children, they're now adult age, and now you're living on your own again. All these things can apply again. Just think about it. Number 3 is to be ruthless with your utilities. I was the queen of shutting off the lights when I wasn't using them. I only washed clothes when they were dirty. I walked when I could instead of driving to my job, which I could have hopped in the car and driven over. Why? Use my legs, walk on over, save gas, save wear and tear on the car, if applicable, obviously. Adjust your thermostat to appropriate temperatures, provided the season. Reduce air leaks, caulk your windows, your doors, whatever you need to do. There's just so many ways that you can reduce your utility bill if you are mindful. And we talk about this a lot on the channel. I think a lot of us are already tuned into this in their frugal lifestyle. But again, when you're living on your own, if you can get your bills as low as possible, that makes sense. Again, that's within reason. Unplugging things that are not in use, like if you're not using the toaster, unplug it. If you're not using your coffee maker, unplug it. Things like that. It all adds up. I remember my power bill being pretty low, also because I was working all the time, so I wasn't home a ton. Same now. But being ruthless with your utilities and being very mindful can keep that lower, keep your bills lower, save you money, and make sure that you can pay your bills. Number 4 is to intentionally own less. If you're trying to live on your own, the benefits of intentionally owning less are endless, right? The benefits, the savings, easier to clean. If you're living on your own, you're probably gonna have to work a little bit, quite a bit, right? Pay those bills. You're gonna spend less time cleaning if you don't have so many things, knickknacks, I just always picture knickknacks on countertops. I can picture some examples of places that I've gone where the house is just so filled with things. And I remember thinking like the dusting must be a nightmare to get all that. You know what I mean? Like just time consuming, and everyone's different. So, you know, maybe people love knickknacks so much that they won't sacrifice that time, but not me. No. Less stress in general when you have less inventory in your home to manage. Again, if you're trying to live on your own and you're probably trying to, you know, have I hate that term, work-life balance, but yeah, you want to work, but you want to come home and you want to enjoy. You don't want to spend the rest of that time. That's for everyone, by the way. Anyone watching this is not just living alone. This is anyone. You want to live when you get home, and you don't want to just be doing laundry all the time and just be cleaning and just be picking up. Like, you know what I mean? So, you'll have more energy. You'll be more productive. Oh my gosh. I'm just thinking about that year. Like, I was like a machine back then. And then, like, on a side note, I didn't have cable. That was the first year I never had cable. My whole life I've always had cable. And that year and that's before streaming. So I didn't have anything. I had DVDs of Friends and Laguna Beach on repeat. Like I think it was Friends season, it was the red box, maybe season 7. I can't remember exactly now, but it was Friends around the clock and Laguna Beach. And that's all I had in the background to keep me company. And I did not care because I was not going to pay that $50 to $80 or whatever it was at the time. I didn't want to spend my money on that. I wanted to live in that place and have fun, right? Time for things that matter. When you have less stuff, the more stuff you have, the more stuff owns you, right? It's time consuming. It's more effort. So when you're trying to live on your own and just be realistic about making your bills and like enjoying your life, if you choose to spend less on things you don't need, it's going to make your life so much easier and keep money in your pocket. The other thing that's a little tricky when you live on your own, and I'm saying spend less on things you don't need, there's no one to tell you that's ridiculous, don't buy that. Right? It's like you can do whatever you want. You can bring in whatever you want. So choose wisely. Choose to intentionally own less, and you will have more time, more energy, and more money. And I think that's what most of us are looking for. Frugal living in general and living below my means has helped me in every phase of my life. So whether you're living alone, whether you got a big family with you, whether it's you and your partner, whether it's you and your child, living below your means has huge benefits. Frugal living. I've got a whole channel devoted to frugal living, budgeting, and saving money. Scan around, poke around, see what's most helpful for you at this stage of your life, and put those to use. Now's your turn. Guys, what's your favorite realistic tip on how to live alone? Cut the cost of living alone, or just cut the cost of living right now in general. We know that times are hard and we're all trying to get by. So sharing information that's useful, we all benefit from that. So thank you so much for being here. I hope to see you next Friday in the next video. If you enjoyed this, I'm going to leave you 2 videos for you to watch next. See you in the next one, guys. Bye.